Hello everyone, I am Ankita Choudhary. I have secured 14th rank in Civil Services examination this year, and this was my second attempt, and my optional subject was Public Administration. So through this lecture I would like to present you my strategy for the optional subject Public Administration. First of all, the reason why I chose Public Administration in spite of being a science student was that I find the subject very interesting, and secondly this subject has a very short syllabus which can be easily prepared, and thirdly the syllabus is mostly overlapping with your GS paper, so that helps you score good in GS paper as well. So actually Public Administration preparation has helped me score good in my GS paper 2 and GS paper 4. And so therefore I think Public Administration optional subject choice is very good, and if you like the subject then you should go ahead with the subject. I took my Public Administration coaching at Synergy IAS, and during my preparation I referred to the notes which I prepared during my coaching, and after my prelims, and as I could not clear in my first attempt, but still during the self-study period also I prepared my optional subject twice, so that it does not bother me when I have a very less time after my second attempt. So when I did my prelims last year, just after my prelims I started preparing for my optional subject. And for the test series, because I could not write before for the Public Administration, so I took my Public Administration test series at Lukman IS, and the test series was really helpful, and I attended all the explanatory classes, and I know it is very difficult when you start writing the paper, because initially I was also scoring 100 in my paper 1, so the score increased gradually, and by the time I reached my last paper I was scoring around 150, and it was because of this practice only that I think I was able to score 314 in total paper 1 and 2 for the optional subject. So to score more than 300 is very important nowadays if you want to be in your top 50s. So it is very important that you focus and you give due attention to your optional subject. For Public Administration I would like to suggest few books, especially I read Mohit Bhattacharya at least 10 times, and then I also referred for paper 2 Arora and Goel book, that is very helpful for paper 2, and rest I referred to my notes, and I did my coaching at test series at Lukman IS, and if you are taking your test series at Lukman IS, please do also attend the explanatory classes, because they are very good. And if the thing that has worked for me is that you need to attempt all the questions of the paper. I attempted all the 20 questions for both the papers in my optional subject, and second more important thing is how you present yourself, your answer. So that is very important, that you are writing your answer in bullet points, you are giving a proper introduction, you are sticking to the question, the dimension which has been asked in the question. So you are using the flow charts, you are referring to the reports, you are quoting examples in your answer, and you are using tables, and you are using the flow charts, because as we all know in 3 hours paper you have to attempt all the 20 questions. So it is very important that you are focusing not only on the material which you are writing, but also on the presentation part. And so for the presentation part I think it is very important that you don't write on the margins, try to write in between the space which is available for you. And for Public Administration you need to focus on having a positive outlook. Try to end the answer with a positive outlook, and try to present both the sides of the answer. If they are asking about a policy of the government, try to give all the negative as well as the positive sides of the policy, and then try to end your answer with a positive note, because it is very important that you present yourself as an optimistic person, and in real life also I hope that you are an optimistic person. And rest for the public administration subject especially, I would say that if you are making your own notes, then please do update them regularly. Try to include as many policies and government schemes in your answers, and do read Mohit Bhattacharya for the basic. For paper 1 and 2, there are many topics from Mohit Bhattacharya which have helped me really well. The language is slightly difficult, so it may take you 2 to 3 readings of the book to get a proper understanding, but it is important that you stick to that book. And the synergy notes, they have helped me very thoroughly. I revised my notes, and it is very important that you pay special focus to the theory part of the public administration, and even quoting the theories in paper 2 is also helpful, because sometimes you are able to relate the things. So it is important that you don't just try to segregate the subject. It is very important that you try to mix it and use the data as much as possible. Even if it is from paper 1 and you're writing in paper 2, that's okay. Don't worry about segregating paper 1 and paper 2. After all, it's the public administration, so you can use the information which you have studied for paper 1 for the paper 2 as well. And especially if you are writing the paper 2 part, it is very important that you focus on the governance part of the paper, because the governance part is also in the GS exams, GS paper 2, so that helps you prepare also for your GS paper. And topics like accountability, transparency, corruption, they overlap with your GS 4 paper. So just try to merge all these things together so that you don't waste your time preparing them separately. And also do refer to ARC reports and all other reports which you might find a mention in your syllabus. And it is also important that you quote some judgments like Prakash Singh judgment for the police reforms in your answers, and do try to take note of all other important judgments which are important for your public administration subject. Different people, they have different strategies, and different strategies they have worked for different people. So what has worked for me, I would like to share that with you all. And I used to study public administration when I could not clear my first attempt, so I made sure that I am able to revise the syllabus at least twice before my mains examination. So I finished my public administration till December, so that from January I could completely focus on my preliminary examination. So for those who are just starting it, please make sure that you are able to finish your optional subject by December, so that from January your complete focus is only for the preliminary examination. And while you are preparing your notes, please do make sure that you go through the syllabus and you cover all the topics which are mentioned in the syllabus. And there are certain topics which are very important, like the RTI Act and the self-help group topic, and there are also many other new field which are coming up in the public administration. So one has to have a very broad outlook regarding the areas where the public administration is active. And public administration, we all know, is an art of making decisions. So it is very important that you understand the subject and you try to read it with interest, so that you are able to connect yourself with the subject. I think that is the most important thing which works for a optional subject to help you have good score. And I used to prepare my notes from the coaching, and then I made sure that I regularly update my notes. So I used to take help from the newspaper or from the PIB regarding the government schemes to update my notes. And it is also important that you refer to magazines like Yojana and Kurukshetra. They are very important for a public administration student, because they are mostly concerned with the government programs, and there are issues like rural development or women empowerment and self-help group. These topics, they are very well covered in magazines like Kurukshetra. So at least read Kurukshetra and Yojana for 6 months prior to you attempting your mains, and while in the between the time period in your prelims and mains, try to focus your attention to limited sources. You can make your notes from Yojana and Kurukshetra magazine, or you can also refer to my answer sheets also. They are also available online, so you can have a look on to my answer sheets, how I have written my answers. So the very important thing in answer writing is that you are dividing your answers into dimensions, and then try to attempt all the dimensions, and do try to write your answers, practice them, at least write 2 to 3 questions daily, so that you become good in writing practice, and you please make your writing practice a habit, and do write at least 2 questions for the GS and 2 questions for your optional subject, and do get them checked with your friends or from a teacher who is able to identify your mistakes. Work on your errors, and try to work on your speed, and also try to write neat and clean so that it is understandable for the paper. And you can also use some diagrams to help represent your answer properly, and do try to read as many reports or the summary of the reports as much as possible for you. But please do compulsorily read the ARC report summary, ARC 2 report summary for your PubAd paper. For public administration, one thing which I am finding very important nowadays is that you should be able to connect the public administration in today's context, because there are being developments in the public administration which are going nationally as well as on the international level. So it is very important that you keep yourself updated for all the developments which are happening in the subject, and please do try to inculcate those developments in your answer. Please be aware of the status of the public administration in your country and all the best practices of the administration and the governance which you are able to, which you can know around from the globe, so that you can include those in your answers. And also you can quote your examples from your own life or from the administrative problems that you have faced in your lifetime, or anything which has stuck with you. These examples, they try to provide a link to your answer, and they are very helpful. But please make sure that you are quoting appropriate examples for the answer, and it is very important that that example is related to the question which is what is being asked. And regarding public administration, you can also refer to my notes, which I'll soon upload, and I'll give you a link for that. And public administration optional subject has it has been a misconception, because it has not been doing well in the last 2-3 years, but this year it has done very well, and it has some have scored more than 330 marks in the public administration subject. So if you have any doubts regarding the subject, or you have any queries, you can contact me, and I'll be free. If I am able to answer your queries, I'll be very happy to help you in any form. I'm available. Thank you so much.